Hey there and welcome to Push Kiddz. We're in the back garden today and we're going to be doing some experiments actually as part of a challenge, and this experiment is about water filtering. So essentially if we're in an emergency situation and we need to look at trying to make water safe to drink, there's different ways of doing that and we're going to show you that. Okay, so what we've set up here is a proper primitive a very basic filtering system. We've got a tripod here, a metal tripod, and obviously that can be wooden and you can lash them together. And then what we've done, we've taken some old canvas material and we've cut it into triangles, with them being progressively bigger. And all we've done is just tied a little bit of rope on the end of each of the edge of the triangle, and we've layered them up here so that we can look at how water filters through these different layers and see whether that has an effect on the water when it gets to the bottom in our glass. You have to have these pieces of material kind of flattish and a little bit slack so that they can take the water in the middle, and just to focus the attention of the water and the dripping through, we've put a little stone in them so it just creates a way through, and we're just going to see how it goes actually. We're just going to see how that goes down to the bottom. Okay, so we've got our dirty water here in the dog bowl, and we're going to start to put that in and see how we get on. Oh, stop. Okay, so we just took it right up to the edge of the top filter there, and we're going to see how that gets on dripping through. And these pieces of cloth have been thoroughly drenched in water before we put them up there, so it has the ability to drip through. Okay, so our water's steadily dripping through this, and it's going through 3 layers of filtering, and it's making the water pretty clean. So we're going to put some more in this dirty water and just I'll put some more in. Okay, so we've had this going for a while now, and you can see in the top we've got our dirty water, lots of bits and bobs in there. As that's dripping through, it's again capturing a little bit of dirt in there, but it's getting better. And then as it goes through there, it's filtering again. But as we get to the bottom here, you can see the water is fairly clear. And, glass is a little bit misty as it were, but it's pretty clear. So I'll look from the top so you can see from the top. So the filtering process through there has worked quite well. So we are talking about getting water in an emergency situation, and what we've got here is an emergency filter system where we're just ripping up or cutting up whatever we've got here, cotton, canvas that we might have, and then using a little bit of rope. This could be wood if we've not got a tripod with us. You could add to the effectiveness of this by adding things into these layers as well, so that it helps the filtering process. So at the top you want your bigger, rougher type things like grass or gravel maybe. As we move down to the second layer, you want more smaller items putting in there like sand maybe, or moss that's tighter than kind of loose grass, and then for the bottom even smaller filter material. And actually charcoal, crushed up charcoal, is a great filter material, as it really works well. So putting in crushed up charcoal in there, or some really fine material, if you get really fine sand or something like that, should help the process as well. So what we generally have in water, and if you're looking to get water, acquire water, then always look at finding somewhere that looks clean enough, and if you can, that's flowing. And but even in that scenario, if it's flowing and clear, you might have a number of things in the water. First thing is what we call turbidity, which is basically floating items like we've got here that make it a bit mucky. And what we're doing here with this filter system is just taking the turbidity out of the water and making it clear. The other things that you need to think about are things that you don't necessarily see, and that can be three things: protozoa, little organisms in the water, viruses, and also bacteria. And really and truly, to get those things out of the water, it needs a lot more than what we're doing here with the filtering system. So to make this absolutely better to drink, clear to drink, then what you would need to do is to boil it. Now for boiling, the American CDC recommends a minute's roll in boil, and 3 minutes if you're in altitude, because if you're higher up then you need to boil for longer. But my recommendation is at least 4 minutes rolling boil. So once you've filtered it, taken out the turbidity, the bits and pieces that are in the water, then get it onto a fire, get it in a pot, and boil it till it becomes a rolling boil, and then sustain that rolling boil for at least 4 minutes. And that should get rid of all the nasties that we've talked about there: bacteria, virus, and protozoa. The only thing that could be left is trace chemicals, but obviously if you're trying to get it from a place, a flowing river or flowing stream, hopefully there's no chemicals in there. And of course what we're talking about here is an emergency situation, so acquiring water in an emergency situation. And the best thing to do is obviously be prepared, get water with you, drinkable water with you wherever you go. It's so important, as 75% of our body is water. We need water to survive. And so have a go at making one of these filter systems. Have a go at putting some things in so it aids the filtering process. And if you want to, try and boil the water once you've got it clean, at least for 4 minutes, a rolling boil. So you've at least gone through the process of achieving drinkable water. So there you go, another challenge, this time to do with water and water filtration. It's a little bit of an experiment actually. We've already got a challenge video up around filtering water, but just another perspective on it, another thing to do in the backyard. And obviously if you are homeschooling at the moment, then there's lots of things online that you can reflect on while looking at this, looking at researching the water cycle, for instance, or water purification methods, or the way that water is purified to the tap. So have a look at those things and see how you get on.